You are connected, and you are listening to Specifically for Seniors, the podcast for those in the Remember When generation. Today's podcast is available everywhere you listen to podcasts and with video at Specifically for Seniors YouTube channel. Now, here's your host, Dr. Larry Barsh.
Those of you who are fans of the TV show America's Got Talent will already know my guest today. Maureen Langan was a semi-finalist on season 18 of AGT, where her performance landed her a standing ovation and 4 yeses from the judges. Maureen is an internationally acclaimed stand-up comedian, broadcaster, TEDx speaker, and corporate event host.
Oh my God, I'm exhausted.
Come on, let me do it.
No, I'm teasing.
She has performed with entertainment, literary, and cultural icons that include Robin Williams, Jay Leno, Rosie O'Donnell, Jay Canfield, Joy Behar, Gloria Steinem, Danny Glover, and Gladys Knight. She's roasted comedy royalty Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira.
Oh, I did.
Maureen.
I did. I love them. No, I love them so much.
Maureen's Bloomberg Television.
Oh, okay.
You want to finish this?
I worked in radio, television, Bloomberg, public television.
All right. So you won some sort of title about the best female commentator.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Best female commentator in New York, because they have to separate the women from the men. Can't just be best commentator. You understand?
And your TED Talk.
Oh,
take
I did
it away.
TED Talk.
Yeah. We're not going to get through this. The business of fun is inspired by her time performing in South Africa at first ever Johannesburg International Comedy Festival.
Correct.
Welcome to Specifically for Seniors, Maureen.
Oh my God. Am I old enough to be on this? Am I on this thing? Yeah, that's good. No, I like what you're doing. I'm really happy that what you're doing, Larry.
Are you old enough? Am I too old to be doing this?
Oh, I can't handle. I hate ageism, so I'm really glad that you bring people who are vibrant and alive. I hope I'm one of them. To the forefront. I think it's really important. I just watched people ridicule and lambaste Dolly Parton for being the halftime performer at some stupid ball chucking game on Thanksgiving, the Dallas Cowboys, because she was dressed like in a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader's outfit and she was singing, and they're like, why do we have to look at this old lady? What? Oh, and I thought, that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And mostly from fat, middle-aged men who play golf and eat, roast beef sandwiches and 3-pounder hamburgers, who, as if they could and think they can get 20-year-olds, and she's amazing. So anyway, I hate ageism. So back to you.
Tell me, we have done so many podcasts on it, trying to figure out what to do about it, how to present a different image at different ages. It's just, anyway, you were a broadcaster at Bloomberg TV.
And radio.
And radio.
Yeah.
I remember radio. That's when we used to watch something that didn't have a screen.
Yeah.
So, tell us about, is that where you started?
Well, yeah, somewhat. I mean, and I'm just an aside. I laugh that you say, radio, because I have a weekly radio show on WBAI in New York City, 99.5, where I highlight badass women, because I don't think enough women are being showcased and in the forefront, and particularly now with what's going on politically. And it's fun. It's from the serious to the seriously funny. But Tuesdays at 4:00. But here's, when I started, I was just like a bit of a lost soul in my 20s, doing performance at night and really pursuing journalism and broadcasting. So I was freelancing all over the place, the Nightly Business Report, documentary producer. And I happened to be at the Nightly Business Report. It's so serious, right? And they asked me to call this guy, Michael Bloomberg, who had just bought a radio station in New York City. They said he was a Wall Street guy. They said he killed Frank Sinatra. People were saying that because it was an oldies station at the time. So I called him. He picked up his phone because when I worked with him for 7 years, I sat right next to him. You always picked up your own phone. He picked up his own phone. There were no assistants. And you had to deal with people one-on-one, which I like. And then even though I hate people, I like the philosophy of it. And he said, I can't do an interview right now. I'm sorry. I just bought the station and we're getting that together. And I said, do you need any broadcasters? They said, sure, call my program director. And I met with the program director, and I was one of the original 5 hires on Bloomberg Radio. And he said, what does your father do? And I said, he's a New York City sanitation worker. He goes, good, hard work. So that's what he said. And then, so then that's when my broadcasting career began. So I had been a documentary producer for public television, doing very heady stuff, but I also liked comedy and performance. So it was both.
And then you turned to comedy. How did that happen?
Well, you brought up that I was given an award for Best Female Commentator by the Newswomen's Club of New York. And it was really an honor. But when I was working at Bloomberg, and he was starting this new station, and it was then it was not just business. It was heavy business, but it was all news from, what's happening at City Hall to, fun pop culture stories. So he said, Langan's the only one around here with a sense of humor. You all read the news the same and you sound the same. So he asked me if I wanted to develop my beat. So I did. And I go, well, he goes, just do what you want. Just don't screw it up. So I did celebrity interviews, man on the street, as we call them then. Now it's they on the street. So celebrity interviews, person on the street, satirical world news, and commentary. And after almost 7 years there, the station changed format a bit because I believe he was planting the seeds to run for mayor. And my stuff was a bit edgy. Who makes the better corned beef, the Irish or the Jews? Okay, that's funny. I would do the immigrant update with my mother. Here's the immigrant. I don't know if they like you calling my mother the immigrant, but that's what we called her as a joke. Or I had a priest. I called him my priest on speed dial, who was a real radical. And I'd have him respond to stuff going on. And he was, whoa, off it. So I think the stuff I was doing, they wanted it a little more. At first, it was like the most popular stuff and the most listened to. Focus groups loved it. Who cares what they like? But you get it. And then when he started running for mayor, they're like, yeah, get rid of that one. So they didn't fire me at all. Michael wouldn't do that. They were just like, we're going to change your beat. And they had a new program director. And he said, we'd like you to do stories about funds for retired people. And he goes, what do you think? I go, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes. So I left. So I stayed a year, banked my money, and was doing stand-up at night.
And you mentioned that you're the daughter of a garbage man in New York.
Well, he's retired now. Yeah, retired New York City sanitation worker from the South Bronx, Huey Langan. Yeah.
And you did a solo show about that?
I did a solo show called Daughter of a Garbage Man, and it was personal. It was funny but deep. It was about a family's strengths, struggles, secrets. I think a lot of people can identify with that. And also, too, I said to him, Dad, I'm saying daughter of a garbage man, not sanitation worker, because I want that word to be powerful and have meaning and respect. Because when I was growing up, I remember my 3rd grade teacher said to the boys who were slacking, what do you want to grow up to be, garbage men? Is that what you want to be, garbage men? And I thought, why is she using my father as the example of the loser? Like, why? And when his parents came to America with very limited education, and to get a civil servant job was a big deal, a cop, a fireman, or a sanitation worker. He's 6'1", he was over 200 pounds, and he got rejected from the police force because he didn't have 20/20 in one eye. Now you could be blind and a little person, and like it doesn't matter. But then, the big hulking cop. So the sanitation called him up next, 6 kids, benefits. And, I have a lot of respect for people who work hard, and that's one of the hardest jobs out there. And I think it's so disrespected or taken for granted. So I said, Dad, I want to use that word really, like, yep, that's right. I'm the daughter of a garbage man. Damn right I am. So he goes, I get it. Yeah, I get it. You do that. Yeah, I'm not offended at all. You do that. So.
And then you did a TED Talk.
Yeah, in and around there. So yeah, I was asked to do a TED Talk. And it was ironic because the person who asked if he could collaborate with me on it, he was part of this committee in New Jersey, at Monmouth County. And it turns out we went to high school together, different years, and he wound up working at Bloomberg years apart. So it was a really great collaboration because I'd never worked with somebody on, I usually write my own stuff. I wrote, but he and I worked together. But I had just come off performing in South Africa. Pardon me. I had just come off performing in South Africa at the first Johannesburg Comedy Festival. And what was interesting to me, and I don't pretend to know any their political strife, what they're dealing with. I don't know all the ins and outs. What I did know at that time was we're post-apartheid and people were coming together and mixing and mingling, and it was effervescent. And I'm looking out and seeing a sea of people who are brown and black and white and mixed race and crazy blonde hair and dreads and all these looks of people coming together. And I thought it was absolutely effervescent, and it just was beautiful. Now, again, I don't know what the backstory is. I just know what I experienced when I was, of course, I know what the backstory is. I know what apartheid was. But just to be working with the tech guy, who was so very cool guy, or the musicians who played us on or off, African and Black Africans. And you think, I was saying to them, one would walk arm in arm with me up the stairs every night. I said, we couldn't have done this once upon a time, huh? He goes, not only could we not have done this, he goes, I could be arrested. He goes, I wouldn't have even been allowed to be in this part of town without proper paperwork and a reason. And I just thought, why do we cut each other off? Why? Why? We have so much that we can bond about and have a great time about. And I don't know. So it really, it hits you when you're in a different culture, sometimes more so than in your own, because familiarity, you just sometimes are so familiar with what's around you that when you see it from a distance in a new land and a new people in a new place, you go, wow, it was very powerful.
You talk about that. I was in the service in the early 60s, and we were stationed in Montgomery, Alabama, and we were friends with a Black couple. And there was an affair at another officers club in Montgomery. We had to leave one base to get to the other. His wife, my friend, my wife, and I get in a car. We get up to the gate. The air police say, "Where are you going?" "We're going to the officers club in Montgomery." And they looked at us and said, "Not in one car, you're not. The service is one thing, but out there, you can't be in the same car driving."
It's disgusting.
Absolutely.
It's
Anyhow,
disgusting. Anyway, yes,
I mean,
that's funny. We're talking about funny guys, isn't that? It's real.
we've got to get over that in this country.
Well, I hope so, but good luck.
TED Talk versus America's Got Talent.
Versus?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting up in front of a crowd. TED Talks are well rehearsed. America's
Not
Got
really.
Talent. No,
TED Talks, no, not really. No, because where I put it up a few times at some small theaters and ran it by some people, but no, I mean that was the second time I ever really did it full through.
oh really?
Yeah.
Did one or the other get you more jittery, or were you pretty
Oh,
calm through
America's Got
both?
Talent by far. Oh my God. Yeah, because America's Got Talent, you have 2.5 minutes to get your humor across. And my first appearance was very well received. There was a standing ovation, 4 yeses. The second one, I'm proud of the work I did. There wasn't a negative reception. It's that, so Howie stood up. He was very excited. And then he saw the others weren't standing, so he sat down. I think I did. I'm proud of the work I did on it. But what I know that people don't know because they don't see it, when you go out on that stage, if they're focused laser attention, if they're chatty. So, and when you're performing, you want a collective bam. But if they're chatty and they're getting this and those are talking and they're laughing at the different places where you're not expecting it, you have to pause. It's like music. You have to know when, or double Dutch, you have to know when to jump in, when to jump out. And if you're used to this rhythm, when I'm putting my hands really fast here, but one hand's moving, then the other's like, oh, let me get on board. Oh, okay. You don't know. I know where to jump in, but they're jumping in at times that I'm not expecting. So for me, I like them to be bam, bam, bam. And you can't keep it rolling if people aren't on the roller coaster at the same time. So
You're talking about the hosts or the audience?
the audience, though the hosts, I have to say, two of the hosts, I could clearly see they weren't paying attention and they were writing notes to each other. So that was unfortunate. And going on near last, after people have been sitting there close to 3 hours before the start of the show and almost 2 hours during the show. But see, I know all these things. So that gets you, that, yes, that would be a lot more daunting. A lot. But I was happy with the experience. It went well. I got to the semifinals, lost to a dog. We all lost to a dog. It's enough to make you want to open a kill shelter, but I like animals, so I'm not going to do that, except for one. I would open it, kill one, and move. No, I wouldn't. I love dogs. I do. I actually have a 15-and-a-half-year-old right here next to me that I took home last year when he was 14. So I like the senior dogs because how long could they last? No, I'm kidding. I love them.
I've got a 7-year-old lying on the floor next to me.
You do? What do you have?
A miniature poodle.
Aw.
Who usually is pretty quiet during podcasts. Once in a while, he sees an old friend out the window and starts barking again. But you got a couple of great comments from Simon and from Howie.
Yeah, and all of them. Yeah, they were very complimentary. Sophia, you should have a television show. That's what Sophia said. Heidi, I like your timing. And, Simon said, you're so fearless and so funny. And Howie was amazing because he knows the business. And he said, you have all these tools and people are going to repeat, don't make me hate you. That's my through line. As you can see behind me, don't make me hate you. Yeah, it was good. It's good. It's very vulnerable. People ask, how does it feel? I said, very vulnerable. Because then you open yourself up to millions of people who don't know you, some being so amazingly supportive and some being like, oh my God, that's eviscerating. But then you think I go, they don't even know me. And somebody said, yeah, and you don't know them. So don't give them that kind of power. And I thought that's good.
Your act on AGT was part of your Don't Make Me Hate You comedy tour?
Yes. Which is kicking off in the new year. And again, clubs and theaters, of course, if people want to book it, they can. Don't Make Me Hate You. They just go to my website because it's, we're starting to book the new year at different places and venues around the country. So that's exciting.
Go to your website. The website is
my name, Maureen Langan, LANGAN.com. Or on the social media, they can reach out. Yeah, it's good. It's really appropriate for people who've ever read a book. I'm funny. I'm edgy. I'm not vulgar. I can get a little edgy. Bring up a little the New Jersey, the New York in me.
Go ahead.
It's R minus. It's not vulgar or X-rated or any of that. I go through the people I don't want to hate. This is the difference. I'll give you a joke. Well, I did it on AGT. So, for example, and it's not even a joke. These are real things. I just channel them into my rage and humor. So this is like, I said, because we're all flying and I was on the plane and this is all true. A woman in the seat behind me gets up and she starts spritzing cinnamon on the plane. I go, what are you doing, lady? She said, it's natural. I go, yeah, well, so is my vagina, but I'm not shoving it in your face. So that's hard. That's as harsh as I get. But I can get a little edgy. If people want it, we'll go there. But now
go there. Go there. No. This is an adult podcast.
Oh, all right. So for AGT, I said, well, so's my butt, but I'm not putting it in your face. Do you see how you adjust for the audience? So that's how you would adjust for an audience. No, I mean, I'm worried about I do tell the people in the audience, there was a time, remember, maybe 4 or 5 months ago when women could get birth control and take care of their own reproductive health. That happened in America for a while till it was taken away. And I said to my neighbor, I'm not joking. This is, again, we talk about ageism. I can't stand it because, people in their 70s largely came of that, the 60s, the, love, peace, like the most open-minded generation that's existed, that I know of. Not since has there been a more open-minded generation. I mean, I was born in the 60s, but from what I've heard, but there's my next door neighbor. She was born before, birth control was legalized in many places. And so I said, hey, and she's abroad, a lot of fun. She's about 80 now, a lot of fun, real broad, goes out a lot, loves her wine. So one night she was face down in the driveway. And I said, hey, Betty, Back in the day, what did you use for birth control? And she said, blowjobs. Swear to God. So now I call her blowjob Betty, but never to her face. Never to her face. Never.
Does she listen to podcasts?
But if so, it's not Betty. That was just a fictitious name.
Are we in trouble?
Nah, it's kind of, but she was blunt and honest. And, it really is. You think about it, though, this Catholic gal pre-birth control, right? There's truth in it. So anyway.
I'm in my late 80s. I'm not talking about it.
No, are you? No, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at you, Larry.
Yeah.
Looking good. He's very dapper. If you're listening to this on a podcast and not seeing visually, Larry is a very handsome chap.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut the podcast now for a few minutes. We'll edit this part out.
A few minutes. Do you see a few? Okay.
Very few. You mentioned that you did a TV pilot.
Oh yeah, I did. Larry, this I would love to be picked up so much. This is like my heart and soul passion.
Go for it.
Perfect. It's really a combination of my journalism meets my humor. And to me, I like wit. Wit is quick-mindedness in the moment. Wit. I love wit. And it's I think traditionally an Irish trait. But anyway, in my pilot, which was called Mo Goes, but we've rebranded it as Langan on the Loose. And by day, the journalist in me, because I travel the world as a performer, the country, the world. So by day, the journalist in me finds the fun, the heart, the smart of a city and its people. And by night, we all gather, whether it be at a restaurant or a club, we raise a glass and have some laughs and recap, the discoveries and the humor. I mean, I was just in, believe it or not, the Balkans, performing in Croatia, Serbia, Bulgaria, and, the fun, the heart, the smart, to watch these people, their humor, to see the humor from these people, I mean, the other performers, to see what resonates for their audience. Or then working with one woman who's in her mid-40s who was a refugee during the Bosnian War. And to talk to her about her heart, like she has twin daughters who are 8 years old, and she named them Iris and Ingrid, because she says, Maureen, she said her name's Miranda, so it was easier for her to be processed through the different channels as a refugee. So she said if her daughters ever became refugees, she wanted them to have names that are worldwide recognizable so that they could be easily processed should that happen and get to safety. And wow. Do you see? So you have like the funny of these comedians in a different culture. You have the heart of this woman. And then, you have the smart. Wow, whoever knew that this Colosseum, the Romans had this little Colosseum in Pula. Like, there's just so much there. And then you see it through the lens sometimes of the heart, always through your heart, but just sometimes funny, silly, ridiculous. I'm at the Bulgarian border with another comedian and we're in like line for hours to get through. I didn't know I was going to Bulgaria with this crazy nut. She was fantastic. She ran a comedy festival. We're in the car. This was only in June. And she just gets on a rant about what's Americans with your songs that you like. And in her accent, just repeating the words and mocking us. I mean, I had tears pouring out of my eyes. So there's just so much that goes on that should be captured. And I think televised, I think there's a big market for it. I know that my humor transcends age. And I also think I'm proud of my age and that people should see that you travel alone. You have these explorations, this independence, this fun. So I really want to sell that. And I did a pilot with a gal who's brilliant. She's worked on a number of television shows. How many middle-aged guys with bellies can you watch eating 50-pound hamburgers? How many show belly flopping into pools? How many of those can you watch? I can't take it anymore. There's nothing. All we do is this homage to men doing their things constantly. I love men. I have 3 brothers, a father, and a partner. But I just can't handle all of this homage to them constantly on every channel, every network, everything. Okay, I'm off the soapbox. Langan on the Loose could be the show for you.
Okay, I'll sign you up.
No, it's so there. I'm doing it anyway. So all it is bringing a camera. Really, it's not, I can produce the darn thing. I know how to do it. Anyway, it's just by passion. So we'll see.
In addition to all of this, you host corporate events.
Oh, yeah. That's where you make your living. Well, yeah, because a lot of these corporations, Larry, like I have a big one coming up, an annual sales meeting for 4 days in Tampa. for a big pharmaceutical company. So what they want is they're doing their sales awards. They're doing their activities during the day. They don't want stand up, but they want somebody to infuse kind of a rhythm and keep it going and keep it light and keep it fun and be respectful and reverential when that particular aspect of the festivities call for it. But also, you have these salespeople. The next award goes to Larry. No, who's Larry? Let me find out his little picadillo. Come on, Larry. You know that you played pickleball before there ever was a pickleball. You know that I don't know, have a string collection. You're nuts, but we like him. We like the way he sells. Something like just to keep it fun and light and moving and not boring. So I do a lot of that. That's the
I've
bread
been
and
at
butter.
enough dental I'm a retired dentist.
Oh, are
I've
you?
been at enough dental conferences that really could have used something.
Oh, I have a good friend who's a comedian, Michael King. He's a dentist and a comedian. Yeah. He's the fourth dentist, 3 out of 4 dentists. So I think his tagline is I'm the fourth dentist. You know how 3 out of 4 dentists say, whatever. Or
Yeah,
4 out of 5, he's the fifth, one of those.
I was usually the fifth one too.
Where did you do your dentistry?
Boston.
Oh, I have 3 nieces going to school in Boston now.
Where?
2 at Northeastern and 1 at Boston U. I was just up there
That's my
last weekend. Huh?
that's my alma mater. BU.
Boston. Ah,
Yeah,
smarty pants.
when it only costs $500 a year.
Yeah, I
That was
know.
a little while ago.
Yeah, when school was affordable for people.
That's
When getting
something
an
else.
education wasn't an elite thing.
Where are you going to be appearing next?
I'll be in Boca Raton at the Boca Black Box on December 3rd. So I'd love for people to come out to that. The Boca Black Box, December 3rd. And they can always go to my website, maureenlangan.com, my gigs page, and follow that. And also Instagram and Facebook. I always post my shows. I often post my shows there.
That's too bad. I'm going to miss you. We just moved up from Florida last year
Oh,
to
where were you?
Massachusetts in Boynton Beach.
Oh, well, tell your friends, Larry. You have friends in the area. I'll send
I
you the
will,
information.
this will
Yeah.
be on, well, I won't mention the community, but this will be on one of the community websites.
Oh, wonderful. And I'll
So
send you a little flyer if I may,
sure. And
Thank you.
we'll push it a little for you.
Thank you,
Anything else we
Larry.
missed? This has been fun.
Oh, I don't know. You did so much promotion for me. Thank you. That's very nice. I just want people coming out to the theaters and to the clubs and not getting easily offended, and let's have some laughs and let's get it together, folks. Let's just have some fun. I want to insult you. You can insult me. We'll laugh about it. Everything will be fine. I wish Joan Rivers were alive right now. I really do, because I saw a clip today of her telling people off. Oh, stop it. Because she said she hates kids. She would have loved Helen Keller because she never talked. And then somebody goes, I have a deaf child. She's like, I got a husband with one leg. All right. He had one leg. And I got a mother who's blind. Shut up. We have to laugh. And, I love her just pushing back and yelling at people who don't get it. So I want people to all come together and just have some laughs and let your hair down.
Whatever happened to that humor? We lived in New York City for a while. We were members of a little playhouse way downtown.
What was it
And
called?
the shows,
What playhouse?
I don't remember,
Oh,
but
you don't
it
remember.
was a while ago.
While
But
ago.
they had shows that made fun of everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody laughed.
I know.
And we can't do that anymore.
Where did you grow up, Larry?
Boston area?
You do? Your parents are from Boston too?
They were.
You have a New York sound to you. That's all.
Yes.
You
It
really
goes,
do.
it comes and goes. When I'm tired, the Boston,
Boston comes out.
yeah, it becomes wicked awesome. And and
God.
I go around parking strangers'
Boston
cars. Yeah,
comes.
I do it just for
Ah,
Boston's sake. I park them at Harvard Yard just for
yes,
the hell of
yes.
it. But we've sort of lost that sense of humor,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
the communal
Ridiculous.
sense of humor.
Oh my gosh, you can't. Oh my, I know. I had a table walk out. Well, only one woman wanted to walk out and she made her friends leave. And it was in Cape Cod. And I thought I was among my people because there are a lot of Irish people. And then I realized, oh yeah, I am among my people. They turned on me. but, like, This was a couple of years. It was when Trump was president. It was an innocuous joke. I mean, I make fun of Biden. I mean, it doesn't matter. I make fun of Hillary. And I said that he was caught with a stripper, and I would have been more shocked had he been caught with a book. And, F you. I go, oh, that's a lie. He had a book. It was upside down. It was a Bible. But anyway, so like, and I go, no, he reads the classics. Stop. He loves Lord of the Lies, Nasty Little Women, and Catcher in the Pussy. Come back. Sit down. So the one woman cursed me out. She was so angry. And then she's like to her friends, we're out of here. We're out of here. And her friends are like, we want to stay. We're having fun. And I thought, my God, really? That's offensive just to make fun of somebody who, oh my God. It was
deserves to be made fun of.
Yeah. I mean, everybody but it's like everybody's always made fun of the presidents. And he just happens to have a lot more to make fun of. I mean, that was all. It was oh God. But do you understand what that's like? That people just get up and curse you out? Just curse you out for a joke? It was ridiculous. So, I stay away from it now because unless I'm really in an audience who I know 100% isn't going to turn, which is usually gay friendly, that kind of organ, that kind of group, you just go, girl, go, go, go,
We lived in California for a couple of years, and our favorite Studio City for a while, and good. Then Santa Clarita.
Okay.
North of the city.
Yep.
Or as we like to say, we better leave 5 hours to get to the airport. You never know. We had a favorite restaurant in West Hollywood that we used to go to, and we were always greeted by the same waiter who said, my favorite straight elderly couple. So it was good. We each got a hug and a kiss. It was great fun.
And they made just have some fun.
Great sandwiches, by the way.
Oh, really? What's the name of the joint? Do you recall? You don't recall. No, it doesn't matter.
I'm old. What can I tell you?
Well, there's a lot more to remember as we get older. I'm not even kidding. There's so much more to remember because we've done so much more as you age, right?
Maureen, this was fantastic. This was great fun.
Well, it's such my pleasure to have met you, Larry, and thank you for being so gracious. I really appreciate that.
And anyone wants to get in touch with you once more, how do they do that?
Just go to Maureen Langan, LANGAN.com. There's a contact button there. If you want to just say hello, you have a question, you want to book a show, you want to discuss it, you're interested, any of that stuff, there's no pressure. And of course, if you're on social media, I am on Facebook and Instagram by the same name, Maureen, LANGAN. And of course, if you put in Don't Make Me Hate You. Oh, by the way, if they want to get Don't Make Me Hate You merchandise for the holidays as a gift, a grab bag, again, MaureenLangan.com. Just click on store when you go there. There's everything from coasters to mugs to t-shirts to onesies. It's a riot. Hey, Larry, thanks a million. And I hope I didn't chew your ear off too much.
Maureen, thanks. In case anyone who was listening heard background noises of sawing, I've got to apologize because the tree company that I asked a year ago to cut down the dead tree in front of my window, finally got to do it right as we started this podcast.
Of course. Hey, and listen, if people want to listen, I'm on WBAI Radio Tuesdays at 4:00 Eastern time. It's called Badass Women. Highlight badass women, the men who love us, and issues from the serious to the seriously funny that affect all of us.
Well, let me thank this one badass woman one more time. Yes. Thanks, Maureen.
Woo-hoo. Thanks a million, Larry. All the best to you.
Great fun.
Great fun.
If you found this podcast interesting, fun, or helpful, tell your friends and family. And click on the follow or subscribe button. We'll let you know when new episodes are available. You've been listening to Specifically for Seniors. We'll talk more next time. Stay connected.